Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Glad you can make it here on episode 2577 of the Cabral Concept. This is the first Cabral HouseCall of the weekend, where we will be getting to our community's questions, just like we do every Saturday and Sunday, and have been now for 7 years. So again, many thousands of questions have been answered. Really nice way for me to stay connected to the community, and hopefully a positive way for you to get a second opinion. Of course, we're not here to provide any medical advice. That wouldn't be legal, so we're not doing that. No medical advice, no medical treatment plans, no medical cures, or no medical diagnosis. But we will absolutely be looking at the root cause, potential root cause, of some of these symptoms that you may be suffering from. So anything and everything is fair game. It really is. So feel free to write in whatever you'd like. And you can do that at stevencabral.com/askcabral. Just know that we are still answering questions from December of last year. It takes about 12 weeks to get your question read live on air. Now, the nice thing is you can get your question answered same day, pretty much same day, Monday through Friday at cabralsupportgroup.com. All right, let's get started. First one is from, looks here, it's from Alicia. And Alicia says, "Hi, Dr. Cabral. I want to thank you first. You are helping me so much in my healing journey. I recently repeated some tests and they show I no longer have hypothyroidism and Hashimoto's, and I'm no longer pre-diabetic. Thank you so much for all the wisdom you share." Well, that's amazing, Alicia. Happy to hear that. Today, my question is about my daughter. She's 3.5 years old. When she was younger, she liked to apply pressure on her belly when she experienced belly discomfort. She developed quite the technique for that, and I think accidentally she discovered pleasure somewhere else. Her belly pushes became different, and when I ask her where does it feel good, she says it feels good in her vagina. I'm a bit shocked because she is only 3.5 years old. Is this normal? Is there something I should do about it? If I even can do anything about it. Okay, well, so first of all, totally normal. So children, young children, 3 years old, 4 years old, for sure, can absolutely feel pleasure in their genitals, their genital areas. So that is not abnormal, and I just don't need to think that it is. And I don't know, again, so I don't want to give parenting advice. I also don't want to give, sex ed-based advice. That's not my forte. That's not my expertise. But I would not want, if it was my daughter, for her to feel like she was doing anything wrong or bad or anything like that. And so I just think that she's kind of working through some things. She doesn't exactly know what most likely she's doing. She just knows that whatever it is feels good, and she's trying to repeat that. And so as a parent, I'm going to let you handle that for however you see fit. But this would not be abnormal since there's certainly pleasure receptors, and she's experiencing that. So hopefully that was helpful. All right, Rocco is up next. Rocco says, "Hi, Stephen Cabral. Thank you so much for your valuable podcasts. I recently did some lab testing in Australia, and to no surprise to me, as I have anxiety, I have high cortisol. I want to do your 7-day detox. Am I okay to still do the 2 fasting days, or should I go straight to days 3 to 7? Thanks." Okay, so again, I can't prescribe any medical advice or treatment plans if you have diagnosed anxiety. What I can tell you is that many people have done the detox with anxiety. If it's your first time doing it, probably better though that you just do 1 fasting day, especially if you're nervous or worried about it, and then move on to days 3 through 7. Or you just try the fasting day for day 1, and you might even have dinner the night of day 1 and just move right into the days 3 through 7 fasting detox plan. So that's totally up to you. I'm assuming this isn't going to be the first time or the last time you do a functional medicine detox, so there's nothing wrong with easing into it whatsoever. I think that that's fantastic. So, keep on keeping on, Rocco, and let us know if we can help at all with some of the underlying imbalances that may be leading to the high cortisol or anxiety. All right? Megan's up next. Can Tourette's be maintained or cured through functional medicine practices? I am working with a functional med doctor now for both of my kids, but not seeing results. Do you have suggestions? Yeah, happy to help. So again, we use the word cure again. I can't give you any cures, right? But what I can do is say, yeah, we've had lots of phenomenal results with Tourette's, executive functioning disorder, ASD, Asperger's, like all of it, without a doubt. So I don't know, functional medicine is like a really broad stroke, right? It's like, oh, I'm an accountant. Well, it's kind of like, well, what kind of accountant are you, right? So it's, it just goes deep. So what I would say is this. If you have not run at least the Candida metabolic and vitamins test, also called the organic acids test, that's the first place to start. I would actually run the starter kit. So if this is with a child, this is what I'm recommending always is the big 5, if they're a little bit older, and I'm running the stool test. Now, if they're a young child, I'm doing the starter kit first, and then if there's digestive issues, or there's ASD-based issues, I'm running the bacteria and parasite stool test. So all the labs are at stephencabral.com/labs, big 5, or the starter kit. So that's totally up to you. But if you're working with the functional medicine doctor and they are not running any of these labs, I'm not sure that they are then looking for the underlying root cause, which could be making things worse, which are lack of B vitamins, higher levels of food sensitivities, higher levels of Clostridia bacteria, et cetera. So, because that leads to then higher levels of dopamine and potentially byproducts of that as well. So what I would do is, again, your doctor could be phenomenal. Just make sure they're running these labs. If not, run them with an integrative health practitioner level 2 or our team over at Equalife, whatever works best for you, right? We just want to help you get well. And your kids. All right, Erin's up next. I recently had surgery and had this before surgery too, but now it seems just even more. Muscle fascia knots, big ones. What is the underlying cause of this? I have one in my right lat area that is awful. All right, so for sure, any type of surgery can create more inflammation. More inflammation could cause more of these adhesions. When we talk about muscle fascia, basically, you want to think about fascia as almost the casing around muscle, right? It's a connective tissue that connects everything in the body. And knots are essentially a tightening of the fascia or the fibrin itself. So how does this happen? I'll be honest with you. So I am certified in proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation stretching through NASM back in the day. One of the first classes. I was such a young guy back in that class, and this was in the year 2000 or 2001. But I've done all sorts of things: Gray Cook-based work. I've done all sorts of foam rolling, kinesiotaping, TENS-based therapy, et cetera, et cetera. What I found is this: most people, it's not from under-stretching, although I think it is important to stretch, or lack of foam rolling. It's from lack of alignment. I really believe that. So, and it's not just from like stretching yourself or getting a chiropractic adjustment. None of those are necessarily bad, but it's strengthening the muscles so that they're balanced for both anterior chain, that's the front of the body, and posterior chain, which is the back of the body. Most people's posterior chain is just absolutely like really weak compared to their anterior chain. So it's like chest and biceps, your SCM muscles are tight, your quads might be tight and more dominant over your hamstrings and glutes. So that's what we look at. And what you really want to do then is work with someone who's really qualified in this, ideally locally, if you can. So I think National Academy of Sports Medicine, their PES is really good. Functional range conditioning specialist is really good. Muscular therapist person also with an exercise, background could be really good. That's what, without a doubt, that's what I'd be looking at. Like 100%, hands down, that's what I'd be looking at for sure. Because a lot of times people don't do strength training because they're worried because they're already tight. I found strength training to be the thing that helps most people, to be honest. All right, good question though, really good question. And I've got podcasts on anterior chain versus posterior chain exercises. I would definitely check those out. I've got about 300 Training Thursday shows at stephencabral.com/podcast. So everybody can find all previous podcasts and do a search for their topic at stephencabral.com/podcast. And then for all protocols and all labs and everything that we do in our practice, that's at stephencabral.com/shop. And then for things that we don't use in our practice, but like we recommend because they're other companies and they're great, those are at stephencabral.com/resources, like water filters, air filters, saunas, PMF mats, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Michelle is up next. Michelle says, "Hi, Dr. Brawl. I took a blended mushroom supplement and had some really strange side effects, nightmares, irrational thoughts, et cetera. I'm hoping you can explain what happened here and whether there's a way for me to take a mushroom supplement again." Here's some additional context. I have EBV reactivation and my naturopath gave me a 10 mushroom supplement to strengthen my immune system. Over the course of the next 8 months, I started getting nightmares and irrational thoughts. For example, I had strong urges to steal things, to drive off the road, or to have outbursts in large company meetings. It was gradual, and it wasn't until 8 months ago, or 8 months, that I thought it might be associated with the mushrooms. I stopped taking them and the nightmares and irrational thoughts went away. Can you explain? That's really interesting. That is very interesting. Well, I've heard of the nightmares before, and it's to my knowledge, again, this is why we have such an amazing community. So we have, millions of listeners every single month, and I'll be posting this on YouTube. And so if you're listening here on YouTube, there's a comment section. If you know of any reasons, like real reasons, science-based, I would love you to post those. Always feel free to do that. What I've seen is that certain mushrooms like lion's mane, I've seen it happen with reishi, I've seen it happen with a few others. It can actually activate more REM-based sleep, which is typically a good thing, especially if you're below 2 hours, to help with overall mental emotional balance, basically repair of the brain and finally white things in their compartments, at the end of the night. So I have seen that. So I've seen mushroom blends activate more REM-based sleep. Now, there's not a lot of good science as to if that's just anecdotal or what the reason might be. I haven't seen it. So again, if you have, let me know. There's so many studies, but I have not seen any correlated studies, and I've checked. Now, the obsessive compulsive and the driving off the road, that's is interesting. And somehow there is some type of side effect you're getting that might be the phenylalanine, tyrosine, L-DOPA to Clostridia-based pathway that's affecting the psyche and the brain. I'm going through my mind right now. I mean, could it be affecting glutamic acid, which can have these side effects as well, and glutamate? I don't know, but it's very interesting. I'm going to look into this for sure myself. I don't know what I'll find, if anything, but it is quite interesting. So mushroom blends are not for everyone. They're really not. A lot of people with allergies don't do well with them, except from certain mushrooms like reishi. Some people have food sensitivities to them. Some people with mold, that exacerbates the mold. Some people with candida issues in the gut, it makes it worse. So you might have gut issues. You might have found, you may have found inadvertently that you have gut issues and this is exacerbating it. It's very interesting. I would run the gut bundle. Yeah, I would run the gut bundle. That's at stephencabral.com/shop. You'll head on over to Equilife there, type in gut bundle, and let's see what's going on. Or if you didn't want to run all 3 labs, run the bacteria and parasite stool test along with a candida metabolic and vitamins test. That's absolutely what I would do. Yeah, absolutely what I would do. All right. And I would love to hear. I don't know. Now I'm believing there's a correlation there, but I don't have enough data in order to be able to say that that's true. Okay, really good one. We've got another one. This is our 6th one today. We try to get to 5 or 6 every single weekend day. I'll be doing 6 more tomorrow. Ricardo's up next. Hi, Stephen. Love your work, and thanks for helping so many people get better. I note on one of your podcasts, you spoke about a 1-day detox, short version of the 7-day detox that we can do weekly. I have found this very useful. Do you have a similar 1-day or shorter CBO protocol? I'm planning on doing the full CBO protocol soon, as I have candida overgrowth as shown on an organic acids test. And if it works, is there something I can do afterwards to ensure my candida doesn't come back, using citricidal drops just on the weekend, or perhaps even for a week every 3 months? Basically, I'm after any ideas for a mini CBO protocol for maintenance after a full CBO has been completed to ensure it never returns. Thanks. Okay, I totally get where you're coming from. I've never been asked this before. Very interesting, but I mean, I have an answer. So, all right, you do a 7-day detox every 12 weeks. That should be part of most people's just healthy wellness-based plan. Each week, though, this little mini detox that Ricardo's talking about, if you've never heard about it before, I call it my 1-day detox or 1-day reset diet. And you can find that. That should be really easy to find. If we go, let's just go to Google and type in Stephen Cabral 1-day reset diet. And I mean, even a PDF pops up. Well, there we go. I don't know if that's a new or old one, but there it is. I'd love to be able to find one that is a podcast. You get more than just the PDF, which it's fine. I like the PDF popping up for people, but I like there always to be, a reason why behind it. I like people to know about it. And 1356 seems to be the one. Yeah. So StephenCabral.com/1356. All right. Check that out. That's the 1-day reset diet for everybody. All right. The CBO protocol is 12 weeks. And it's 12 weeks for a very specific reason. And we really fine-tune this over the years. Using basically, it's working from strong to stronger to strongest, and it's removing the biofilms that shouldn't be there in the gut. It's removing a lot of the yeast overgrowth, bacteria, and then it's repopulating. So that's how the CBO works, but it's different than a detox. It's not the same principle. So you actually don't want to do another CBO protocol unless you have to. That's not one that you do. You can do a parasite protocol once a year. You can do a heavy metal detox once a year. You can do an intestinal cleanse once a year. And of course, you've got your functional medicine detoxes quarterly. I have a podcast on that as well, Ricardo. It's called the 4 cleanses to do every year. So feel free to check that out. If you ever can't find a podcast, all you need to do is write in at cabralsupportgroup.com, and the amazing Michelle or Daniel will be able to find the shows for you. Okay. How do you maintain good gut health? Okay. Good, healthy diet, not a lot of alcohol, if any, all the things that I talk about, hopefully not using antibiotics, etc. After the CBO protocol, you want to do the CBO finisher. That's healthy gut support and the clean gut probiotic or the daily probiotic support. Now, after that, you can do the healthy gut support for 12 weeks. That builds a nice, strong, healthy gut. Okay. Now, every year, though, you can use the healthy gut support for 1, 2, or 3 months. Nothing wrong with that. You can do it once every 3 months if you wanted to. Nothing wrong with that for a month or bottle, right? You can use it every day if you wanted to. It's not like you can't. Okay. So there is nothing more to do, and then you take your daily probiotic support every day to keep your gut populated. That's what you want to do. Now, I have a show on what to do if you have to take antibiotics, so that's a different show. We won't go over that now. But we have something called a modified CBO protocol. This is a 1-month protocol, but you only do it if there's a minor amount of gut overgrowth. And only an integrative health practitioner or one of the Equal Life coaches would let you know if that is the proper thing to do or not. Because most people want to do the full 12-week to make sure that everything's gone and that it's been repopulated. So the modified CBO protocol is, it's strong, but it's just for 4 weeks rather than 12 weeks, okay? So hopefully that was helpful, and hopefully I was able to differentiate the differences between a detox and then an actual, gut-based protocol. So the ones that you can repeat yearly: functional medicine detox, parapro support protocol, intestinal cleanse, heavy metal detox. The mold, the CBO protocol, those, I'm trying to think what else there might be, but those are just as needed, all right? Hopefully that was helpful. Really great questions today. They're always great, of course, but a lot of them were new, so that I haven't even touched on before. So appreciate it, and thank you so much for being a part of this community. I'll be back tomorrow answering more of our community's questions. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.